Oatmeal can become cancer if you make these 4 common mistakes after 60. Senior health, older. You know, there's something almost comforting about that warm, creamy bowl of oatmeal in the morning. It's simple, it's gentle on the stomach, it's been called the breakfast of longevity for decades. And for many of us over 60, it feels like a safe, healthy choice that's been with us through half a lifetime. But here's the thing. Nobody tells you, even the healthiest foods in the world can quietly turn against us if we're not paying attention. And oatmeal? Yes, oatmeal. The very food you've trusted to keep you strong and healthy can, under certain conditions, become a silent health risk. I know, that sounds shocking. You're probably thinking, wait, are you saying my morning oats could increase my risk of cancer? And the answer is, well, it depends. See, what most people don't realize, especially after 60, is that our bodies change. Our metabolism slows, our cells repair themselves more slowly, and the way we process certain foods becomes completely different from when we were 30 or 40. That means the little mistakes we make in the kitchen, the ones that seem harmless, can have much bigger consequences. And here's the scary part. I'm not talking about rare, complicated mistakes. I'm talking about 4 very common habits millions of older adults make with their oatmeal every single day. Without even realizing, they could be feeding inflammation, damaging their cells, and creating the perfect environment for cancer to grow. Now, I'm not here to make you afraid of your breakfast. I'm here to make you smarter about it. Because when you know what these mistakes are and how to avoid them, you can keep all the incredible health benefits of oatmeal without the hidden risk. So grab your cup of tea or coffee, settle in, and let's have an honest conversation. Because your health, your energy, and your future are worth protecting. And it might just start with what's in your breakfast bowl tomorrow morning. Number 1, why oatmeal is called the breakfast of longevity. Let's start with why oatmeal earned such a glowing reputation in the first place. Because before we talk about how it can go wrong, we have to understand why so many people, especially those over 60, trust it so much. Oatmeal is one of those rare foods that checks almost every box for a healthy breakfast. It's rich in beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that works like a broom, sweeping cholesterol out of your bloodstream. It's got a slow, steady energy release. So unlike a donut or a sugary cereal, you won't have that mid-morning crash where you're hungry again in an hour. And it's naturally loaded with minerals like magnesium, iron, zinc, and phosphorus, all of which play a role in keeping your heart, bones, and immune system in top shape. But here's something that really matters as we get older. Oatmeal isn't just about nutrients. It's about gentleness. After 60, our digestion can be a little more, let's say, sensitive. Oats are soft, easy to chew, and easy to digest, making them a friendly option for aging teeth, gums, and digestive system. And there's more. Oatmeal also contains a surprising number of antioxidants, especially something called avenanthramidides. These little compounds are like the bodyguards of your cells, helping reduce inflammation and improving blood flow. Some studies even suggest they can help regulate blood pressure naturally. A big win for those of us who'd rather avoid adding another pill to the daily lineup. So yes, oatmeal really does deserve its place on the superfood list. It's comforting. It's familiar. It's the kind of breakfast that makes you feel like you're doing something right for your body. But here's the truth most people skip over. Just because oatmeal starts out healthy doesn't mean it stays healthy by the time it hits your bowl. And that's where we need to move into something a little more uncomfortable. Number 2, the hidden dark side. When a superfood turns against you. Now I know what you might be thinking. How could something this natural, this wholesome, possibly turn into a health risk? The answer is actually simple, and a little unsettling. No food exists in isolation. What matters just as much as what you eat is how you prepare it, what you pair it with, and how often you repeat the same choices. See, oatmeal by itself is a blank canvas. It's what you and I put on that canvas that makes all the difference. And for seniors, the stakes are higher. Here's why. Our natural detox systems weaken. The liver, kidneys, and lymphatic system just don't flush things out as quickly as they used to. Our DNA repair slows down, so when cells are damaged, they can stay damaged longer. And that's one of the ways cancer can start. Now combine that with the fact that many older adults fall into food habits, eating the same thing prepared the same way, day after day, and suddenly that innocent bowl of oats can become a daily dose of slow-building trouble. The scary part, the mistakes aren't exotic. They're not strange. They're common, everyday habits, the kind of things you might have done this morning without thinking twice. I've seen it happen. People load up their oatmeal thinking they're making it better, when in reality they're adding ingredients, cooking methods or preparation steps that actually feed inflammation, spike blood sugar, or introduce harmful chemicals into the body. And when you do that day after day, month after month, well, you've basically turned your breakfast of longevity into a breakfast of risk. That's why in the next sections we're going to go step by step through the 4 most dangerous oatmeal mistakes people make after 60, and more importantly, how to avoid them so you can keep every spoonful working for your health, not against it. Number 3. Mistake 1. Choosing the wrong kind of oats. Alright, here's where we start pulling back the curtain. Not all oats are created equal, and the kind you choose can make a huge difference in whether your breakfast is helping your body or quietly stressing it out. Let's talk about the big 3 you'll see on store shelves. Seal-cut oats. Minimally processed, chewy texture, low glycemic index. Rolled oats. Steamed and flattened. Cook faster, still good nutrition. Instant oats. Heavily processed, pre-cooked, often flavored and sweetened. Now, if you're in a rush, I get it. Instant oats seem like a gift from heaven. You just rip open a packet, add water, and you've got breakfast in 60 seconds. But here's the catch. Most instant oats have been stripped down so much that they digest way faster, which means they spike your blood sugar like a rocket. And if you're over 60, those spikes are more than just an energy problem. They're a long-term health problem. High and frequent blood sugar spikes can increase inflammation, stress your pancreas, and over time, raise your risk for diabetes, a condition that's linked to a higher cancer risk. And that's not the only danger. Those flavored instant packets, many are loaded with sugar, artificial sweeteners, and chemical preservatives. Some even have artificial colors that have been linked to increased risk of certain cancers in lab studies. It's like turning a superfood into candy for breakfast. I've met seniors who said, "But I've been eating the maple brown sugar oatmeal every day for years and I feel fine." And sure, you might feel fine now, but cancer and chronic disease don't announce themselves early. They build quietly, cell by cell, year by year. So here's the safe move. Bako. Go for steel-cut or old-fashioned rolled oats. Skip the instant packets with flavors. If you want it fast, cook rolled oats in batches and reheat. That way you get the fiber, the slow release of energy, and the protective nutrients, without the sugar rush or chemical baggage. Bako. Number 4. Mistake 2. Cooking oats in the wrong type of container. This one catches a lot of people off guard, because when we think about healthy eating, we focus on the food itself, not the container we cook it in. But believe me, the pot, pan, or bowl you use can make a huge difference. Let's start with non-stick pan. If you're using an old non-stick pot with scratches, chips, or flaking coating, you could be leaching PTFE and PFOA into your food. These are synthetic chemicals used to make cookware non-stick, and they've been linked in studies to hormone disruption and a higher risk of certain cancers. The problem is, once these chemicals get into your body, they can stay there for years. Now let's talk about the microwave. Microwaving oatmeal in a plastic container is a shortcut many people use, but it's risky, especially if the plastic isn't specifically marked microwave safe. When heated, plastics can release chemicals like BPA and phthalates into your food. These chemicals are known endocrine disruptors, meaning they mess with your hormones, which play a big role in cancer development. And here's the tricky part. You won't see, smell, or taste these chemicals. They sneak in silently, and over time they can accumulate in your system. For seniors, this is even more important because the body's detox systems aren't as fast. Hormone balance is already more delicate. The immune system may be less efficient at catching abnormal cell growth. The good news, the fix is simple. Cook oats in stainless steel, ceramic, or glass containers. If you must microwave, use a microwave-safe glass bowl. Replace old non-stick pans with safer alternatives, or at least make sure they're in perfect condition. Remember, Your oatmeal might be the healthiest thing on your plate, but if it's been swimming in a soup of invisible chemicals before you eat it, you're not getting the health benefits you think you are. Number 5. Mistake 3. Turning oatmeal into a sugar bomb. Okay, my friend. This one is huge, because I've seen it over and over. Someone starts with a perfectly healthy bowl of oats, and then by the time they're done fixing it up, it's basically a dessert. Here's how it usually happens. A spoonful of brown sugar here, a drizzle or two of honey there, maybe a generous pour of maple syrup, and hey, why not toss in some sweetened dried fruit, just for extra health. Before you know it, that humble, fiber-rich breakfast has turned into a blood sugar rocket. And if you're over 60, those sugar spikes are more dangerous than you might think. Why? Excess sugar feeds inflammation, and chronic inflammation is a major factor in cancer development. See, cancer cells love sugar. They feed on glucose like a fire feeds on dry wood. When you give your body more sugar than it can handle, you're basically laying out a buffet for any abnormal cells lurking in your system. And it's not just about table sugar, honey, maple syrup, agave. Even though they're natural, they still hit your bloodstream as sugar. Dried fruit is tricky too without the water content of fresh fruit. It's a concentrated sugar load in a tiny package. Now, I'm not saying you can't sweeten your oatmeal, but you've got to do it wisely. Here are some ways to keep the flavor without the sugar bomb effect. Take. Add fresh berries. They're naturally sweet, high in fiber and full of antioxidants. Use cinnamon. It tricks your taste buds into thinking food is sweeter and it can help regulate blood sugar. Try mashed banana. It adds natural sweetness plus potassium, without spiking your blood sugar like refined sugar does. Think of sugar like salt. A little can enhance the flavor, but too much can wreck the whole dish and your health. Number 6. Mistake 4. Pairing oatmeal with harmful add-ins. This is another sneaky one, because people often think, if I'm adding something extra to my oatmeal, it must be healthier. But here's the truth. Not all add-ins are created equal. In fact, some of them are downright dangerous, especially as we get older. Let's start with the obvious culprits. Processed meats. I know some folks like to crumble bacon bits or sausage over oatmeal for a savory twist, but processed meats are classified as Group 1 carcinogens by the World Health Organization, meaning there's strong evidence they can cause cancer. They contain nitrites, nitrates, and compounds that form when meat is cured or smoked, all of which have been linked to colorectal cancer. Then there are flavored creamers, the ones that make your oats taste like hazelnut cheesecake or caramel swirl. They're often full of hydrogenated oils, artificial flavors, and chemical emulsifiers. Many also contain trans fats, which not only inflame your arteries but also increase cancer risk. And don't get me started on flavored powders. Those just add a scoop mixes for protein or flavor. Some are okay, but many are loaded with artificial sweeteners like saccharin or aspartame, plus synthetic dyes. Over time, these chemical cocktails can take a toll on your cells. Even nuts and seeds, which are normally healthy, can turn harmful if they're old or improperly stored. When fats go rancid, they oxidize, producing compounds that damage cells and accelerate aging. So what should you add to your oatmeal instead? Fresh fruit, as we said earlier. Raw or lightly toasted nuts stored properly in airtight containers, away from heat and light. Unsweetened Greek yogurt for creaminess and protein. Spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, or cardamom for flavor without chemicals. Remember, the add-ins should be working with your oatmeal's health benefits, not undoing them. Your breakfast is like a team. If one player is working against you, it hurts the whole game. Number 7. How age changes your body's relationship with food. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Food doesn't affect you at 60 the same way it did at 30. Not even close. When we're younger, our metabolism is like a high-speed train. It burns through energy, repairs cells quickly, and clears out toxins with impressive efficiency. But as the years go by, that train slows down. By the time you're past 60, here's what's happening under the hood. A slower metabolism, meaning sugars and fats stick around longer, giving them more time to cause trouble. Weaker detox systems. The liver and kidneys don't clear waste and toxins as quickly, so harmful compounds from food can linger. Reduced antioxidant production. Your body's natural defense against free radicals isn't as strong as it used to be. Less efficient DNA repair. If a cell gets damaged, it takes longer to fix, which increases the chance of mutations. And here's the big takeaway. Those little food mistakes you could get away with in your 40s can now have a much bigger impact. What used to be a harmless sugar rush is now a blow to your blood vessels. What used to be just a bit of processed meat is now a serious risk factor for your colon. But, and this is the good news, the flip side is also true. The positive changes you make to your diet now can pay off faster and more noticeably. Switching from instant oats to steel cut, you might see steadier energy in just days. Cutting back on sugar, you could see better blood pressure and inflammation markers within weeks. Choosing safer cookware, that's an investment in years of lower toxin exposure. Your body may be older, but it's still listening to you. And what you feed it every morning is one of the loudest messages you send. Oatmeal really is one of the healthiest breakfasts you can have. Full of fiber, nutrients, and heart-friendly compounds, but only if you treat it right. If you're over 60, those 4 common mistakes can turn your oatmeal from a health booster into a health hazard. Adding too much sugar, turning breakfast into a dessert, pairing oats with processed or chemical-laden add-ins that quietly work against your health. The truth is, these aren't hard changes to make. They don't require giving up your favorite breakfast, just being a little more intentional with it. And when you do, you're not just eating a better meal, you're sending a signal to your body that you're protecting it, respecting it, and giving it the best chance to keep you strong and vibrant for years to come. So tomorrow morning, when you stand in your kitchen and stir that pot of oats, remember, you're not just making breakfast, you're making a choice. A choice that could help protect you from inflammation, disease, and yes, even cancer. And I'll tell you what, I think you deserve the kind of breakfast that fights for you, not against you. Your future self will thank you.